PopCross Studios, aka Christian Pearson, is an artist storyteller who has grown his following over the years by drawing pop culture characters as dragons, superheroes, SCPs, and much more. That's how I originally found him. But within the last few years, he started to incorporate his own characters and their stories into a series called Multiverse Tales. And that's what hooked me into following his channel. He has so many different memorable characters with contrasting personalities and morals, and it makes such a fun blend of scenarios and exciting battles. My all-or-nothing personality decided that I wanted to create a huge piece of fan art for him, highlighting his most prominent original characters, starting with all of the ladies of PopCross in this massive multi-character drawing. So, follow me as I draw one to several characters in each episode, also keeping me accountable of finishing this project, and to create a fan art that I hope Christian will be proud of. We're starting off with the overall rough layout of the fan art piece. As you can see by all of these colorful blobs, it is a very rough layout. And this is where I just want each character to go and a rough idea of what I think each of their positions will be. And each color does correlate to what the character's main color palette is. And like I said, PopCross is a variety of fun characters, each with their own stories, morals, and quirks. In this layout, I'm splitting down the middle horizontally. Villains on top, heroes on the bottom. There are going to be 15 characters on here, and it's going to take some time. The first character is going to be one of the front runners of this piece, Alexis Jones. Alexis is one of PopCross's oldest characters that he rebooted into the now running Multiverse series. She's one of the leaders and founders of their group called the Sharp Gang, named by and after one of the fan favorites' pluckiest characters, Benny Sharp. I'm going to try and only give light spoilers to the overall story going in on the Multiverse Tales, but I still want to give you context for those who have no idea what I'm talking about. PopCross is a huge fan of superheroes, and you can really see that love and inspiration in his original characters. Alexis Jones has your standard superhero powers like increased strength and a bit of invulnerability. Basically, she can take a beating. Her main power, though, is earth magnetism, that's what I'm calling it. Basically, being able to lift rocks and attract them to herself, making a fist, gauntlet, boot out of the rocks surrounding her form. She can also repel these rocks right before she punches or hits someone to increase her damage. Alexis, I would describe as your typical paladin, where she has very strong morals. It seems like something that PopCross really describes well and focuses on a little bit with each character is also their religion or beliefs, what's behind their morals. And it seems like Alexis has your standard Western religious upbringing. So she's against killing and she believes in heaven and hell. This easily puts her at odds with other characters that we will get to in this series. She's passionate, she's a little strict or regimented. Again, it's reflected in her morals as well as her training and lifestyle. She might be a little judgmental at times, but she's also balanced out by her upbeat, looser co-leader of the Sharp Gang, Sterling Angeal. I'm thinking I will also do a huge fan art with all the main male characters, but let's get through this first. I have 14 other characters to draw for Pete's sake. Even though Alexis can be quick to judge, she's also forgiving and she'll give anyone a second chance. Later on in the series, which I will link to you the summary video of the Multiverse series in the upper right-hand card, as well as the description if you're interested, Alexis gets an upgrade on her powers and dons a mantle called the Reaper, which you can guess gives her the power to kill. Her speed, strength, and power have been amplified, and she can also fly now. She's also got these really cool rings around her head and this purple cloud-like scythe that I drew in her left hand. Again, trying to be a bit vague as to how and why she's gotten these powers, but you can also come to the conclusion based on the description I just gave of Alexis's personality that she's not all too happy with this ability. Someone against killing, getting the power to kill. Easily. That's why I really enjoy watching PopCross's stories, because you get conflict like this that really tug at some deep matters of the heart, plus it makes the story more interesting. And to clarify, Alexis doesn't kill humans, but she's not against killing monsters or demons. And there are quite a few of those in PopCross's stories. If you watch any of Christian's videos, and you can see in his art style the layers and layers of both shadows and highlights that he puts on each character, and I tried to emulate that in these fan art pieces. He also really likes to put most of his characters in armor, and armor is a lot to highlight and shadow, and so it's been really good practice for me. Plus, other characters of his have different textures like smoke or goop or different textures that it's been really putting me to work and practicing. So, thanks, Christian. So, I really do think that helped add depth and dimension to all of the characters. And like I said, I'm very excited to go into each of these characters and to be able to at least vaguely talk about each of them and their personalities. And while I can't get into like the full meat of the story, I would highly recommend again to watch the Multiverse explained summary video, but it's just been so fun to watch each of these characters, their quips with each other, their interactions, the romance, everything. It's been very fun to watch and to grow to love these characters just as much as Christian. Well, probably not as much as Christian loves his characters, but you know, I love watching original character stuff. I love watching people describe and talk about their original characters, watch them draw their original characters. So this was right up my alley, and I've become a big fan of PopCross Studios. So anyway, you'll also see that this video is it's gonna be less than 10 minutes long, and each of these character drawings that I did probably took anywhere from 1 hour to 4 hours. So if you like this work, even if you don't really care about the PopCross or you've watched this far, I would really appreciate it if you liked this video or shared it with anyone who is a fan of PopCross Studios, or share it with Christian, aka PopCross Studios himself. That would be awesome. So I'd really appreciate it. You'll see in most of these speed draws that I'll have a reference photo up in one of the corners of the art piece, just because, one, for color reference, but also because PopCross's characters have a lot of detail to them, which is awesome. That also means I'm trying to capture as much detail as I can in order for it to be as accurate as possible. And this is the second iteration of Alexis's clothing, because again, this is her upgraded form with the Reaper powers. Out of the characters I've drawn so far, Alexis has been by far the longest to draw, just because she has so many components, including a scythe, rings around her head, a cool helmet thing, armor, rocks. So yeah, she's by far taken the longest, but I also know there are definitely more characters with more armor and more pieces, so can't wait for that. Drawing each of these characters has also definitely let me work on my artistic skills, something that Christian has said his stories have really done for him. And I'm pretty pleased with how everything has turned out with Alexis, even though I would have made the rocks on her arm bigger, and I'm not sure how good the perspective is reflected in this pose. But Alexis will be the front and center at the bottom of the piece, because again, she is one of the leaders of our intrepid heroes, as well as she's taken on a bigger responsibility with these Reaper powers that will help her stop all of these villains that I'm going to draw, including the big bad, which I'll talk about next week. Again, so much for watching, especially if you got to the end of this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like seeing these art videos, as well as if you want to follow this journey. But also, if you want to see these fully finished renders, you can also go over to my Instagram at superblondenerd. But thanks again and so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!